Welcome back, everybody, to episode 175 of the Lookout Podcast. That's a lot of episodes.
It is a lot of episodes. 175, though. You always love the divisible by 5 numbers.
Easily. It's how I learned how to count. It's all in reference to that. Nonetheless, I'm Meelz. I'm here with LJ himself. Yo, what's up? How we feeling? New York.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We here, baby. Fuck Joel Embiid. Fuck the Sixers.
Listen, man.
Jalen Brunson for president.
This whole Knicks season has felt like an anime, to be honest with you.
No, it really has. And you know what's crazy is that I was just going to bring that up about how if you watch any like anime basketball show, you always know and you always see that it's not the team that is stacked up with the best players that usually ends up winning in the end.
Right.
It's the ones that just really want it. And they talk about how much grit and how much they just gotta press through and like, you know, how everybody gotta play together as a team. And, you know, you just get a group of guys that are just some dogs. And you get a psychopath like Tom Thibodeau.
Yes, easily. It's like this season. First of all, we go in, we're feeling good. We have a major trade, right? We have a major trade. We lose 2 beloved players. Actually, probably more than that. We lose a couple beloved players, and we kind of gotta figure it out from there on out. But then we do, right? So this new player comes in and everyone's really not sure how to deal with them. But we kind of figure it out nonetheless. And we go on a great fucking month. And then tragedy happens. Injuries. Julius Randle out. OG Anunoby out. Mitchell Robinson out. And it's like, how do we bounce back from that? You know? And we hold strong. We play through with grit. We have our main character, Jalen Brunson, who is easily the protagonist of this fucking team. We play around him. We then make some more trades, but it's not even like old. It's like trades with like friends we've made along the way. Alec Burks is back. Fucking Bojan Bogdanovic. I mean, he's not back, but he's kind of like he's around. You know what I'm saying? You lose a couple more pieces. And then we go on this run and we end up the number 2 seed. And it's like, oh my God, it's too big for our britches. Our first thing in the playoffs is the unstoppable kaiju, Joel Embiid, right? Like, sure, he's got one leg, but he's moving like his leg work. I mean, I don't care what it is at this point. He eyed. I mean, 50 points? What? There ain't no one leg anymore.
No one leg, half a face, like
yeah, man. Bell's palsy, all of it. Like he's working through it, but we're just working that much harder, and we pushing out these wins. And it's like we gotta ascend to the next level to get these wins. And you know the series still isn't over yet, but it's practically over. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If we lose the series, I would be incredibly shocked.
Now we ain't going out like the Warriors over here.
No, not at all. But it feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like the season feels good. Feels like an anime. Feels like a winner. It's giving me all the feels. I love it.
I would love like in-depth sports, like a professional sports anime.
Like produced by who? Like when you say professional sports anime, you mean like
I'm talking
NBA
like
as an anime?
Maybe like NBA, MLB. No football. Ice Show 21 completely ruined a football anime for me. I don't ever want to see that shit in my life. No, it's like professional soccer, but like usually sports animes are based around high school, and things like that. So obviously you get like major tournaments.
It's kids, yeah.
Kids. I think it would be cool to do like a professional one and kind of like actually do
the older people.
Yeah, like you know, you obviously see the team and the coaches, but like it'll be cool to get some like behind the scenes thing. Like you get maybe like the actual main protagonist is like a young GM and you like see him try to like make moves to like really build this team back up. You know, like you can get connected with some of the players, like something really, I don't know who would produce it, but I think it would be cool. I think it would be fun.
I think it would be neat. I definitely do think, as long as it stays away from, I don't know, like, as long as it stays away from it being like an NBA produced thing.
Yeah, and that's like where I'm saying, like, I don't want it to be anything that feels like a Bleacher Report,
Right.
anime. Like, I want it to still have kind of that like feel goodness to it, feel more like slice of life of like,
But it can borrow elements from things that have happened.
Yeah. That would be, I don't know. I think that would be really fun. Kaiju number 8 got me really wanting more like adult animes, like animes more centered around.
Like, have you watched a recent episode?
There was a it was good, definitely good.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely did kind of feel they used a lot of their turbo on episode 1.
Oh, easily, yeah.
A lot of their turbo on episode 1.
Well, so I don't know. The series paces. I haven't read the beginning of the series in a while, but I do remember like going through the process of the training thing, and just like, without spoiling it, another big kaiju attack probably will end this season. But I do remember it being a lot of like development with characters more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they spent a lot of time. I remember that he gets figured out pretty early.
No, actually, I don't know. Well, all right, don't spoil it.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm not trying to spoil it like crazy, but like it's gonna. They do a lot of character development in the beginning. I'll just say that there's a lot of development.
But it's like any anime.
Yeah, but it's like any anime for sure. Like, they do.
If you have a lot of characters, you got to establish them. You got to establish their roles. You got to establish kind of how they are in the kind of anime and the spectrum of it all. Like, you really got to do all that stuff. Like, season 1 of My Hero Academia is largely just like establishing classmates and what Deku's thing is. And then season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen. It's kind of like, all right, well, we spend at least 18, 19 episodes with students and student related things. And then the rest of the show is actually not about school at all. So, and both of those things we'll talk about later in the show. But yeah, you kind of gotta lay that land. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it definitely used a lot of turbo in episode 1. I was trying to think. I was like, should I let a couple episodes build before I return to this?
I'm kind of at that point. Oh, but like,
I mean,
that's how I watched Solo Leveling, and I'm happy I watched it like that. At least this first.
No, I agree. But I had no idea what Solo Leveling was about. So.
Me either. Well, I mean, I had a slight idea. I read a little bit of the manhwa. But I was just like,
I didn't read anything. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
I like manhwas. Manhwas are cool. They just feel too elementary computer roomish, if that makes any sense. Like, this would be, or like junior. I'll say this, junior high computer roomish, where you're kind of just like, you remember in junior high, you had your sites, you go on,
of course,
little games, do all that. Like, it feels like it fits in that. And I'm like, that's cool, but I'm like, now when I'm reading, I'm like, I don't want that same feeling.
I feel you. We got a couple things to talk about. Well, let's recap our list. We had a pretty big episode last week. Shout out to everyone who tuned into the episode of our top 10 Dragon Ball Z episodes. On the lookout. It was a pretty big episode. Shout out to everyone who tuned in. Shout out to everyone who was interested. Shout out to who just listened to our conversation and provided any sort of commentary at all. What were your kind of thoughts on our list a week later as we move out of it?
I think that, well, first of all, thank you to everyone that listened, showed support, shared it, retweeted it, interacted, whatever you did. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Of course.
I think that, after kind of looking at it, and there was a lot of deliberation, and there was a lot of talks about where it belongs where, but it had really gave me I don't even want to say a better view, but it really kind of hit me of wow, how expansive the Dragon Ball universe is. And
do tell.
And like, you know, like even just looking at like Dragon Ball Z and kind of like that blip of time that Dragon Ball Z ran.
Yeah.
And then you're thinking about like, damn, like it's like they got like Dragon Ball has, you know, obviously the continuation of the story, but it's like it feels like they have so many different eras and so many people who are connected to a different era of Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are people who are really connected with Dragon Ball. There are people who are really connected with Dragon Ball Z. There's even people who are like even connected to like GT. And then, you know, then obviously you got Super that comes after, and it's just like you really just think about like, bro, you could do a top 25 episodes for either, you know, any one of those. And that's like crazy for me to think of, just like, wow, like what Toriyama has built with Dragon Ball with a singular character, just Goku in general. Once again, it's just like you really put things into perspective, and you really put things on like you know, on some type of scale, and you're kind of like, wow, like Dragon Ball Z is always much bigger than what you really think it is, or like just Dragon Ball in general is always bigger than what you think it is.
Absolutely. No, it's a very big, it's like a cultural touch point. I think everyone, for the most part, if you listen to the episode, everyone, I was surprised people were like, I agree with your top 10. I even agree with your number one. I was surprised by that. I felt like we made a good argument for it nonetheless, but I was surprised that anyone would agree with a lot of the stuff that we came up with, because there's so many different ways that you can go about it. Again, our top three, you could have really exchanged anyone for being number one, and our top 10, it's all based on preference. But I think what we got right was like the moments that hit hard to the people, and moments that are like very significant within the series, and not even just significant in the series, but kind of significant within anime lore itself. Like, these are the best episodes. Believe it or not, this top 10 ranks probably in the top 100 anime episodes of all time.
Yeah.
Like, this is a touch point series. This is a classic series, and I'm glad of the work we did. So if you have not listened to it by now, please do. You know, we'll do it while you're working, do it while you're showering, do it while you're walking, do it while anything. Enjoy any
While
episode.
you're hijacking people's half marathons.
Hey man, listen,
You've been hijacking races lately.
No, my route, my route kind of is where a lot of the major marathons kind of end up. It's pretty much, I'm not gonna say where I run. Not that anyone here would fucking find me. I don't have any enemies like that. I hope not. But yeah, it usually ends up kind of where all these major marathons kind of end up being. So it is what it is. I got caught up in it, had to find my way out of it, and did so.
Should have completed it. I told you. Listen, man.
10K is pretty long. I don't even know where it started.
Listen. All I'm saying is,
I don't even know
the power of words, man. The power of manifestation. I have my
races happen there all the time. There's no magic. It's literally a coincidence.
It's gradual.
If it was gonna happen, it would have been if it would have happened, it would have happened on the literal day I run every day out of the week. Like, it all just is what it is.
We're taking gradual steps of getting you there.
Sure.
And it's gonna happen.
Okay. Speaking of us getting there.
Okay, last question, my bad.
Sure.
I don't want to say 5. I feel 5 is a lot, but I could just give you 5. If you're going to list 3, that's fine. 5 non-Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball episodes. So we already ranked, so we could choose from.
Dragon Ball Super, GT. Super GT, and regular.
Yep.
Okay, so you said top 5 or top 3?
Let's do top 5.
Okay, so my number 1 episode of any Dragon Ball thing is the final episode of Dragon Ball Super, because I think the amount of adrenaline that happens there is unmatched, and it really captures. It's probably, to me, a better ending to any Dragon Ball series that has ever happened, because I feel like it captures the essence of Dragon Ball. My second one would probably be between GT, Dragon Ball Super. Okay. Maybe. Huh. I kind of want to choose. I definitely want to choose. It's weird. This is a weird pick. Um, and I'll wait for our friends. Well, not my friends.
Our third co-host.
Yeah. Uh, it would end up probably being. Wow, the Clippers suck. They were up by 30 and now they're down by 2.
Bad basketball.
Absolutely. I'm gonna write this down for the anime that we make, or we propose. With that said, I think one of the episodes is definitely when Jackie Chun beats Goku. Kind of underrated episode, but I feel like it was a very kind of smart ending to kind of like figure that thing out and then also teach them a lesson. And then, honestly, I don't have 5, so I'm just gonna pick 3, and I'm gonna pick one from every the other eras. My favorite GT episode is probably shit. I don't know. I don't watch GT like that. It gives me the ick, to be honest with you.
It really does. Y'all hate it that much?
I don't like the colors. I don't like the music. I don't like kind of anything. It really, there's a lot of brightness that's in Dragon Ball Z and Super that isn't really followed up in GT. It's very like color muted, just feeling muted. I don't like revisit it a lot. So I'm probably gonna end up just saying the last episode. What say you?
Okay, I agree. Definitely the last episode of Super. It has to be on there. And I think you're right too. I think it's number 1. I don't think anything I actually even think you're right of saying it's the best ending of any Dragon Ball series. But yes, that last episode, amazing. GT's last episode, that's also should be up there. That was a really good final.
It's a really good ending. Yeah,
it's so fire. Like it's the end of the battle. They bring Shinron. Like he gets on Shinron and disappears. Right? So it's like it's an amazing ending. Absolutely. It's the episode where Goku defeats Piccolo Jr. in Dragon Ball.
That's pretty good. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
It's a good episode. I mean that entire fight. There's so many different episodes.
Yeah, in that fight in general.
Oh, actually, you know what? Another great episode when Goku meets his grandfather, Grandpa Go.
Oh, that is a good one. That is a really good one.
That one. It's very like strong feels moment, but it's definitely there. That's a good episode. Might change it, to be honest with you. That's pretty good. You know what? I like your set too.
I'm trying to think. I got oh, and Super Saiyan 4.
Super Saiyan 4. Yes, and honestly, it's because I don't watch GT enough to like. I haven't sat and watched a Super Saiyan 4 transformation in a long ass time. But GT just doesn't sit right with me. Hopefully, Daima will. Maybe we'll get a good episode of Daima that will go down.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Listen, the Dragon Ball universe, it's always bigger. Yeah, man, that's fun.
So who knows? Maybe we'll get Daima. Maybe we'll get an all-timer in Daima.
We probably won't. It's taking GT elements and just they're already turning the Goku into a kid.
Absolutely. Like I mentioned earlier, we appeared in Crunchyroll. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing. It's an article I wrote and then I included our own take in it.
Shout out to, it's not like, we just self-plugging? Hey, listen. Self-plug.
I needed to listen. To be honest with you, can I take you behind the scenes of writing that article?
Yeah, why not? Let's hear it.
So shout out to, I'm gonna make it quick because we got quite a bit of manga to jump into. So I pitched the article to Crunchyroll some time ago, um, before the whole, I could probably say now because my BuzzFeed contract ends in like 2 days. Um, Before I got let go by BuzzFeed, um, but I pitched that article. We were working on it for quite a long time, actually. A bunch of names. I'm gonna say the names that we got there were recommended a lot by those from Crunchyroll, and shout out to them to have like just a great group of people. I initially pitched a lot more people for it. I'm not going to say their names, but I'm kind of upset that they either a lot of them responded initially and just didn't follow up or just didn't respond at all. Um, so I was kind of upset with that, but it's all part of the like editorial process. Like sometimes you get people who are involved. I think though the crop of people that we got involved presented a lot of unique answers that made this pretty enjoyable article to kind of like put together and read. So
Was there
shout
a
out to everyone involved.
curveball where someone gave a starter anime where you're like, huh? Like
Um,
I like
Jacques, who gave the penguin one, I was like, ooh, wow, okay, didn't see that coming. I've never even watched it or heard of it at that time. Um, yeah, I'd never heard of it at that time, so it was very very strange. And I kind of looked at the trailer. I don't know if I'll watch it, but if she says it's good enough, she's a book writer. So I trust her opinion. I trust her expertise, or else she wouldn't have been in this, all-star article. Um, no, that's kind of it. I pretty much anticipated Renee Goddess picked Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. We should have asked her to be on the pod.
we should have.
Um, she
Listen,
wouldn't have said yes.
what a queen.
But shout out to her. Shout out to Victoria, always. Shout out to Justin, always. Shout out to a number of people. We got Rough Riders outside.
You got the biker boys out there.
Absolutely, I guess. Shout out to kind of everyone who's a part of the article. It's a great article. And us. Shout out to us.
Yeah, shout out to us. What? Look at that beautiful picture they used of us too.
We're in Crunchyroll, so
we're in Crunchyroll.
It's a big deal. So shout out to us. But we know what you guys came here for. If you are a reader of manga, this episode is for you. If you're an enjoyer of One Piece, just wait a couple more weeks. We'll be right there for you. But this one is for the manga. I would like to say this is our Golden Week episode because next week is actually Golden Week in Japan and there will be no manga put out. So, this is the last bit of manga you're going to get for the next 2 weeks. Funny how things work because this episode was not supposed to come out at this time. But fate works in strange ways. That week I got sick where I was just like, I don't want to do the pod this week. Kind of pushed everything back. And then we initially had other ideas and then this. So everything happens for a reason. But with that said, let's get into a bunch of the manga that we're reading. On the lookout.
Miss Makima, do you have a type, like in guys?
Well, currently I'm into Denji type boys.
Denji type? Dude, that's me?
Chainsaw Man Part 2 and Sakamoto Days. Which one would you like to start with first?
Let's do the big Saka.
Big Sakamoto Days. So it's been a long time since we've covered Sakamoto Days on this. It's probably a long time since you've covered it on Big Eyes. Lots of things have happened since then. It's interesting the way Sakamoto Days has done a great kind of character building bit over the last like 50 something episodes, 50 something chapters. Sakamoto, they follow like the blueprint of essentially like Jujutsu Kaisen. They said essentially we're gonna have this throwback set of chapters. We're gonna do this past. We're gonna go to past arc where we introduce you to these characters. Then we're gonna go to a current arc where these characters come into play, but they're slightly different. Either one of them is evil, which actually two of them were, and we're gonna introduce that, and then we're gonna get into quite honestly the most the one thing I like about Sakamoto Days is they have the most random settings for arcs, and they utilize just the earth in such interesting ways.
I
I
think
don't
that
think
speaks
we've
to also of like how they've built Sakamoto as a character, where it's
Mhm.
like he's so cold, like he can use anything, he can use anything in his environment to beat you. So I think it's really fun when they put them in these different spaces and places, is because
Right.
he's always pulling off some crazy ass random kill where you're like, like how the fuck did he pull that off? And also, I mean, it makes for amazing panels. Like shout out to the museum.
Yeah, no, it's a museum that we have because this arc that we're currently in is the assassin exhibition of the century arc. Essentially, there's three groups that are going on. There's Sakamoto's group, there's Uzuki, and there is the oh fuck, I forgot their name already. There's a third group. Names are gonna be hard with this one, but there's a third group. Um, I want to say like Uzaki or a cow or something along those lines. Don't get me wrong. There's a third group. Um, One of them essentially we get the big reveal that this guy is like pretty much X, who is like the main protagonist of the series thus far, who has taken over someone's body, very Jujutsu Kaisen. Rion, a cow, has taken over uh, the body of someone who had passed away, um, and they've been using them as the head of X to and essentially they have this like, yo, we have certain ideals and we want to be able to accomplish them. And then there's another group who are like, damn, we were with you until you started doing all this radical shit. Like we was with you, but then you was talking about like wanting to actually kill people because of how they think, you know? And then there's Sakamoto Days is like, we gotta stop everybody, cut it out, time out, flag on the field. Some y'all all bugging. Um, and they all are meeting up at the assassin exhibit of the century, where all the major assassins head there. A lot of great tools and a lot of great weapons are being auctioned off, and this is kind of the epicenter of this arc where a lot of things are going down, and we see a lot of amazing fights. We see what's the development of what's my man's name, um Shin,
Yep.
guy with the ESP. We see a lot of development with him in terms of how he's evolved since the show began, or the I guess the story began. Um, we see a lot of other characters who have come into the fold that people have learned to love. I'm not going to name them all because honestly, I don't remember a lot of people's names. I just read the shit. I never like, oh my god, I feel myself like I don't. It takes a lot to do that when reading for me. Visual aspect of anime, I can figure it out a little bit more. But this week was pretty. It's as intense as
Hey, listen, man.
was advertised.
Shout out to my killer grandpa.
Yeah, it's always a. It's old people in anime are always the silent killers, aren't they? It's like
Yeah.
always. It's like damn. It's like old nigga in anime. Got to watch out. He is
No,
there.
this is the big thing right now with Sakamoto Days is just when the anime is coming. When's the
Yeah,
anime coming?
I mean that's really it because it's one of the most. And let me see if we've had any. Let me do my googles. Sakamoto Days anime.
But no, no Sakamoto Days is just it's. I think that it falls under the categories where I feel like MHA and JJK and One Piece is held.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know why. I was trying to figure out a reason why. I truly don't know why. It's kind of. I feel that it's always held in a tier below them, or it's
Because it
just like
doesn't have
the
an
right up.
anime.
That's true too. Like I think once it gets to anime, it'll feel like that. But it truly is one of the best mangas like happening right now.
Like
Like
this may I don't
there's not many low points.
know. I don't know how Suzuki plans on ending this or if we're close to an ending. But
Feels like
one
it
of
though.
yeah, 164 episodes without an anime in this climate is kind of crazy
Well,
because
once again, I think we talked about this on a past episode where animes are animes are most of the time created to help push manga sales.
right.
So Sakamoto Days is performing so well manga sales wise that the the push for an anime is not really there because it's like the manga's doing excellent.
But
So
I
and
don't. Go
but
ahead.
I feel that it's becoming one of those things though of fans of the manga are like, we want this though. Like
Yeah,
we need this anime.
because to be honest with you, it could be selling a lot more. It's not like it's like, damn, we selling so good we don't even need. It's like it's not like a rapper who's like, man, single don't even need a video, bro. This is Lovers and Friends by Lil Jon, Usher, and Ludacris. We don't even need a video. The song is just hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even need. We number one already. We don't even need a video. Um, it's not like that at all. Like I feel like give us that Sakamoto days. We could use with the climate and how everything is kind of like ending or wrapping up. I guess in anime, it's not really wrapping up. Like JJK is still flourishing. Demon Slayer is kind of like close to end, but not really at the end yet. And MHA is like probably closest to the end out of all three. Um, but we definitely need that anime for sure. It's without a doubt. But Sakamoto days have been this the setting for this show, and the recent events that have happened in it, with everyone in the sort of this assassination, all these three kind of like groups coming together at this point. Um, all the back history within all the characters. You killed my father. I'm killing your best friend. Sakamoto just won't die. Like, why won't this nigga die? Like, a lot of these things are coming together. It's pretty good. And then you have Chainsaw Man, which repeatedly I ask, what the fuck is wrong with Fujimoto? At least once every 3 chapters, I'm like, what's up with this nigga, man?
Nah, he's a different breed of human.
Who cuts
You know
up their
what's
main
crazy though? He
character?
said, he said what?
I said, who cuts up their main character? Like, I don't know if you saw it in one of the recent chapters, um, but we're in a current arc now. There was a Chainsaw Man church arc, and now we're in like a different arc, and it's essentially, I'm assuming this is the rescue Chainsaw Man arc because that's what it essentially seems like. They're going in this building. Chainsaw Man has been captured. He's been sedated. Um, Asa and Fami are going in after him to kind of collect him, and they have to go through a lot of different obstacles to be able to get him. And then they also have a lot of different people who are among these, trying to stop them. We see Katana Man is back, and he gets in the recent chapter, he gets his lick back because they eventually do. So through this thing, they're trying to end Chainsaw Man. They don't want him to essentially turn into Chainsaw Man because it's producing a lot of like fear of Chainsaw Man, which makes him stronger, and it's also just taking over a lot of things. So they capture Chainsaw Man and they cut him up in several pieces. Literally, his body disassembled, cut him up, and put each of his body parts in various boxes. This is why I said, what the fuck is wrong with Fujimoto? They eventually come into the place where Chainsaw Man is and like, where is he? We need him back. And he was like, oh, he's in all these boxes you just knocked over. So they spend all the time putting him back together. And eventually they do. They take all the parts. And then everyone was like, so through this entire exercise, they're like, oh, yo, Asa, isn't this your boyfriend? And she's like, oh shit, this weak nigga is Chainsaw Man? Um, so they realize that they put him back together. They have him in a bed. He wakes up, and immediately as he wakes up, Katana Man kicks him in the dick because the end of the first season revolved him and what's my man's name? Oh my god,
Oh,
we need the anime back.
we do. We need. Where the
It's
fuck is the
Aki.
anime?
Is it Aki or
Aki. There
something?
we go, Aki.
Yeah. they spend time kicking him in the groin, and now he shows up, and immediately as he wakes up, they kick him in the groin. I thought it was awesome. Um, Great callback. If you're a part one fan, which I assume you are, if you're reading part two, if you're stuck around this long,
Yeah, no one sticks around this long, especially with this nut.
yeah, but it feels like part of this feels like we're good, and then sometimes it's a lot to follow by week because sometimes some chapters just feel like Fujimoto just wanted to do some funny weird shit, and then some feel like, oh, okay, this is like closer to the plot that we all want to enjoy. Um, but still, Sakamoto Days. Chainsaw Man is fun. I enjoy reading it. I enjoy indulging in it. It feels very weird. The look back, is it an anime? Is it a movie? Is it coming out as a movie? Um, the series Look Back, where
Yeah, it's coming
Fujimoto,
out
the
as
one
a movie.
shot.
It's an anime movie.
Okay, I wonder if
Do
it's
you
gonna
feel
come
that
out.
part two could work as a movie for Chainsaw Man?
So they're already dropping the second season as a movie.
Of
I
Chainsaw
don't.
Man?
Yeah, the Bomb Devil arc is going to be a movie.
I feel that. Shout out to Demon Slayer, but they've been they've kind of fucked up the anime movie game.
It's not. I get it, but also like
Not every
I
anime
just
needs a movie. I feel like,
I feel you.
like
I feel like
even the Spy Family shit. Like, did you go see it?
No, I didn't go see it,
Have
but
you heard anyone talking about it?
nah. But
Listen, and we heard anything.
people can have anime movies. That's just what they do. But
Man, leave it to Studio Ghibli and my
mm,
guys over there.
I feel you. I'm looking forward to. I mean, Chainsaw Man is continuously good. It continues to rock my socks off. I also look forward to look back and see where that ends up. Um, yeah, I'll say that for those episodes. I mean, also I'm reading Blue Box. Blue Box is pretty cool. I'm not sure if you caught up. It's very romantic.
Nah,
Um,
I am deep behind on.
you're wilding out. I feel like they're becoming so. We're at the point now where they're getting a lot more comfortable with their relationship, but they're still not open with their relationship. But people are starting to talk. People are like, I think they're in a relationship, bro. Like, I think something is, going on around here. And they're like, we don't want to be found out. It's going to be weird for everyone involved. My parents, everybody else, all this other stuff like that. So it's continued awkwardness. It also got very sports anime a couple chapters back. So it still strikes that good balance of romance anime, but also sports anime that I don't think anyone has been able to capture ever, um, except Love and Basketball. So uh, here we are. It's pretty good. Kagurabachi, I have not caught up with it. I still have like my own
I
disdain.
I've tapped into what's the hockey one?
Hockey.
Oh shit. Is it dog? I want to say for some reason I want to say dog red, but I may be wrong. Did
And
it
we're a
end?
dog?
Dog's red.
Oh.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
Minnesotan, so
As
it's
long as
still
you're
deep
having a
in
good
me.
time.
I'm still a northerner. I bang with some hockey.
All right. As long as you're having a good time. Yeah, that's been Chainsaw Man Sakamoto days, man. We can get into more. Um, Up next.
I hereby forbid every person in a 100-meter radius from moving until I say the word now. And of course, I'll kill anyone who violates that rule. Not yet. Still not yet. Now.
This is my Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh, okay. We're in part one of our main event of this show.
What the fuck is going on in this manga, bro? What the hell?
All right. When I asked that a million years ago, everyone was like, "Shut up! You're bugging. You
I'm
don't know what
sorry,
to
I was one of
do."
those people. I gotta eat the crow so bad on this damn episode. I'm not happy about it.
Here's my thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. Currently, where we're at, and this is gonna get a lot of flack. I think all the events happening are good, and I think we may be a little bit fatigued with what's currently going on because we're reading a manga, and it's still happening. It's been a year since Gojo got murked. I know because I get all the alerts about it. And I can't believe people would just willingly spoil that on the internet just so boldly and brazenly. But it's been a year since Gojo got murked. So it's been a year that everyone's been fighting for their lives against Gojo. With that said, I'm gonna let's capture this entire year, right? Let's go through this entire year. We've had numerous people go up against Sukuna. Largely all have failed. The dude, the Thunder dude definitely failed. He got murked. I don't even know if that was part of the plan, but they've been reviving niggas and he was just not on the list to be revived, which seems fucked up.
He got Yamcha'd.
Yeah,
Even
he did.
Yamcha got revived.
Yeah, but he's what's my man's name? Is it Kusakabe?
Yeah.
With the he's the lawyer.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's not
right.
Kusakabe. No, it's not
No,
Kusakabe.
I
It
said that
starts with
too
a K though.
confidently. I said that way too confidently too.
Yeah, it's my man. Oh my god. Let's see. Oh, Higuruma. Okay. He got murked, but he went out mad valiantly. Just was like, oh my god, he's adapting to all my moves. How he's so amazing. Like, Sukuna was like, damn, this he's kind of tough. He's fake kind of tough. But not really. I'm still murking him. We've had Yuta showed up. So Yuta murked what's my man's name? Kenjaku
Yep.
came up, knocked his top off, knocked his block
Again.
off. Yeah, again. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But without this wasn't a fucking feature film with the way he did it. It was actually like very like sneakily after what's my man's name? Takaba is his name? The comedian in
Yeah.
JJK. Um First of all, the Takaba arc to me is it's genius in a way that it's weird, but it's also funny as fuck. But it's also weird that it's happening in the middle of this very extreme thing. But I appreciate comedic relief at certain times during this thing. I appreciate when authors are able to add very good comedic relief to all this stuff. So I appreciate that. But
Hey,
they were
point for my guy Gay.
yeah. But the Kaba thing was
He's been
funny.
losing a lot of points with me.
And then yeah, Yuta shows up and knocks his top off. He was like, actually, I'm still sending Tengen to Sukuna. So then Yuta shows up, and there's a big Yuta and Yuji versus Sukuna thing. But then Yuta takes a blow, and he's been out of action since then. But then Maki shows up, and Maki's been doing his thing. And then Miguel shows up, and then Miguel's doing his thing. And Miguel's friend, who had the heart for nipples, I think he's also dead. Um, from the movie. That I was like, oh shit, I guess they were in the movie. So it's a lot of things going on right now, but the key is Yuji has some sort of ascended to the next level. And the big reveal was that Yuji's father was a reincarnated version of Sukuna's twin brother that Sukuna killed in the womb. Yes, that happened. Um, it's tough to. Here's my thing with Gege, right? And I'll give a real life situation. This is real deal Holyfield. This actually happened with my example right here. Um, when I worked for Complex, we needed a freelancer, and I asked for my man Robbie. Shout out to Robbie. Robbie Seabrook. He
Shout
has
out.
no idea why he's being mentioned on this
He
podcast.
doesn't. And you know what? Shout out to Robbie.
He may never hear this,
He
but
may never hear. He not even may. He won't.
he won't hear this. He does not.
We could say something so ridiculous about him right now, and no one would
I
ever know.
think he just watches Attack on Titan. He may be familiar with Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm not fully sure.
I don't know. I know for sure though. He's big. He's big on the Titans.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was tasked with letting Robbie know everything that he needs to know about this job. But Robbie wasn't there for a long time. Robbie wasn't, he was just freelance. He was only there for a couple weeks. So I told Robbie the bare things that he needed to know. But I didn't tell him all at the beginning because it didn't make any sense. But if he was going to do something like make a post or upload a video or something, I taught him how to do that right before he did it. Because I didn't want to overload him with information at the beginning and then have to essentially redo all that information as he goes through it. I was like, here, I'm going to pretty much give you the essentials of this. Now, I did this because Robbie was going to be there a short time. He was not going to be there a long time. Gege is doing a similar thing. Gege is letting us know what we need to know as it's happening. He's not like, there's no like, oh, I introduced this back then and now it's coming to fruition now. It's none of that stuff. He's letting us know at the beginning of damn near every chapter or a couple chapters, that there was a plan that they all talked about in the 4-month span that we skipped because it goes from Satoru Gojo waking up to Satoru Gojo versus Sukuna. It was like, oh, I'm going to fight you in 4 months. And then literally the next panel is like 4 months later, the fight is about to begin. And I'm like, did we need to skip an entire 4 months of development and training? And don't get me wrong, I love a little secret to everything.
I just think that like you said, 4 months isn't a substantial amount of time for me to like be like, okay, can we time skip this? Like 4 months seems like I can live with 4 months in
he
my
probably
time.
He probably hates training arcs. I get
Has
it.
there ever there? I mean, there probably one, and that was in the beginning.
Ever since I started watching Naruto, I'm like, I don't think we need this much training arcs. We just don't. They got quite a bit in Naruto. Actually, I don't even think training arcs are a fucking thing anymore, to be real with you. Except this, I guess this upcoming fucking Demon Slayer arc. What a lame. But
what a lame.
I think he hates training arcs because he likes getting to the action. And this is what we love Gege about. He loves getting to it. Like, it's real. However, all this information seems very thrown in. Some could even say made up. Now, don't get me wrong. This entire thing is made up. This is not a real story. This is a fictional story that he made up. But it never feels like I'm in the know until I need to be in the know, which does not set right for me as someone of the show. Yo, Kyrie is a main character. I'm telling you right now.
He is.
Kyrie is bugging out right now. He is. I'm writing this down for the anime.
Yes, please. Kyrie has to be a main. He has to be a pillar in this anime.
He's gonna be called Kai. He just is. It's just maybe last name Ri. Who knows? He'll be Japanese with a dark Caesar, who practices Islam,
but also very in touch with his native roots.
There you go.
It says very controversial things.
Yeah, from time to time. It'll be in there. Those will be our little like filler chapters. Of just him being ridiculous. It's like, damn, but Kyrie's fucking wild.
Bro.
But either way.
This man playing basketball is different.
he just
It's
is.
like watching Gojo, but
No, you're
pre-slice
right.
Gojo. It's like
Yeah,
watching pre-slice Gojo go to work.
right. But back to kind of what I did. It doesn't feel comfortable me not knowing these things until they actually happen. And it feels sketchy to me. It feels like he's making this shit up as he goes along, which apparently some people love. That is just like, oh, you never know what's coming. You never know. But I feel like as a story, there's so many holes in this story that I feel like could be filled before we got there. Just could be. And they aren't. Like, so with Jujutsu Kaisen, to say this, I say, I love all the action that's going on in Jujutsu Kaisen. I love the fact, like I've said before, this is probably how a Cell game should have went. Everyone trying to beat up Cell and having a really tough time doing it. However, I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say we've lost the plot. Ooh, okay, PG. I don't want to say we've lost the plot because I've said that multiple times, and he swerves back on the plot. You know what I'm saying? But
I mean, I think it is one of those things though, where what you're just saying is that the the risk that he takes in terms of his storytelling, it just those sometimes they can just fall flat, and they can just fall flat at the wrong moment. Um, because it's like you say, it's a lot of swerving. Like you said, as soon as you say he lost the plot, like he swerves back into it. But it's just like at some point you want a smoother ride. I think in the midst of all the chaos that's happening with this fight, and like I think like even the layout of this fight and how it's happening, the ways that like people are getting their own turns and this and that, and it kind of it feels like people are getting their own moment, not even just a shine, but just kind of a moment, um, which is great. But I think just a lot of the things that are being revealed, like you said, just really in the moment, and uh like the things are getting revealed just like in the moment. It could feel like I don't know, it feels like like you said, just a sharp turn or a sharp move when you're already moving at a fast pace. So it's kind of like it just throws you off your balance. You're like, what the fuck? And then it's like you try to just catch, regain. And
yeah, we just
and that's how I feel.
we rolling at 90 miles per hour down a side of a mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we making
And
sharp turns every way around. And one sharp turn is like, oh shit, Miguel's back. And then another sharp turn is, oh shit, Sukuna learned Black Flash and he does it 2 times. And then we get to the other sharp turn. It was like Yuji does Black Flash, which is literally the chapter before said it's a completely random experience. He does it 8 times in a row. And he does Black Flash so much that this man Sukuna can't even recover. He can't use reverse curse technique anymore because he's beat the shit out of him so hard. Mind you, he's not down. Sukuna's not down. He got hit with 8 Black Flashes and he's annoyed. He's hurt. But he at no point does he ever leave his feet, which is crazy. Um,
Hoss battle, baby. Big man.
But how does this end? How do we get out of this? Where are we going? I thought we were
um,
supposed to get the giant curse monster um, to show up and really wreak havoc. And I don't know where the curse monster is, or if we're even gonna get it.
I don't know how this ends. And like that's the thing. I have the slightest idea how they end this. Sukuna has to die for sure.
Yes.
That's all I really got at this point. I think there is just so many. And I think low key when it ends, there's gonna still be either there's still gonna be loose ends, I feel like,
Yeah.
or they're gonna be or there's gonna be no loose ends, but a lot of things are gonna be tied up really quickly and really abruptly. And it's not gonna feel have you satisfied. It's not gonna leave you feeling satisfied. And like that is just where I'm at with just how things have gone. Like you said, we've been going 90 miles an hour, hitting sharp turn after sharp turn. And at this point, I'm like, is this just going to be, am I just having to come to peace with the fact that this is going to be the pace until the end?
Yeah, it seems like it. I like that we learned more about Yuji and how he became to be. But I also feel like we should have learned this quite a long time ago.
We should have learned this before the fight, because
Before,
now
yeah.
that makes their fight, like that adds more, like it builds more to their fight. Like to throw
Right.
it in the middle of all this battle, and it's
And
kind of
just
like,
you
it
just gotta
feels like
absorb.
it loses its shock value.
Yeah. Because now you gotta absorb this wall of text, right? Like of them explaining. There's like at least like 5 to 6 panels of them explaining why Yuji is that nigga. And why he suddenly became that nigga out of nowhere. And why he's either way. I like the last chapter. I like the chapter that we just read. It seems like Sukuna's essentially going for broke. He seems to be somewhat desperate in this thing. He's going for the, what's he call it, malevolent shrine, but it's a different malevolent shrine. Yuji and his friends just have to withstand it. Yuji gets his foot cut off, and now Sukuna's going for the big flame thing. I wonder if Sukuna was a chef in a previous life.
You know what?
Malevolent
With
kitchen,
his demeanor,
I guess it's shrine, but they use kitchen in the anime. And he slices a lot, and
you
now he's
know,
using fire.
even in his attitude, on the level of arrogance,
Talk about it.
he could definitely, yeah, I could see him being a very high level. I'm talking 3 Michelin star, top 50 in the world, Noma. Like, yeah, I could see him being there.
Okay. All right. Um, find out what happens more on Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I don't.
We're rolling
Listen,
down this highway, baby, and it's not
we're
in
going.
anytime soon.
Fuck it. At this point, we're moving and grooving. I've been on this train for too long. I can't jump off now.
Yeah, I'm pretty locked in. Well, as much as I say about this shit and how this shit
How
doesn't
much
make
longer
sense,
do you think it has? I know we're debating on the ending or
I
how
have
it
no
ends.
fucking
When do
idea.
you
I have
think it
no idea. I literally have no idea.
ends?
I
So
have
crazy.
none. I mean, we're in a battle that should be at the end of this thing. Like Sukuna's the big final boss kind of vibe. But then also the giant curse monster is kind of got to exist somehow. So where do we end up with that? And how much people do we have? We still got to free Megumi. I know Cyrus hates this, but Nobara has to come back. She's not dead, bro. That's just how it works. That's how anime works, bro. She's not dead. Or if they don't,
Do you
they
think
gotta.
she joins the battle, or is it one of those things that like wants
She
to
might
battle?
have joined the battle in the last 4 months, and we gonna find out about it next week. Actually, we use Nobara's thing, and just Nobara walks into the scene. She's like, "Actually, my arm's cut off. I can't really like fight or anything, but I can give you guys this great technique for you to use." And then someone pulls out a fucking hammer and nails and starts going at Sukuna's soul. So you never know, but yeah. Hey,
God,
Jujutsu
don't we love
Kaisen. This
this?
is our
We love
this is our Jujutsu Kaisen.
This is our Jujutsu Kaisen.
Absolutely.
Have you Kaisen today?
While you decay before us, our comrades are evacuating everybody in the hospital. We're more than prepared to fight the Nomu here. Although, it would be beneficial to all parties if blood was not spilled in these halls. You've programmed those creatures so they don't act unless they receive instructions from a specified individual.
So, to start this, Horikoshi. Sir Horikoshi. Sensei Horikoshi.
Okay.
I just want to give you a very deep apology for comments I have made on this show, for ever doubting your greatness, for ever not trusting the vision. This is my apology to you Because, sir, you know what the fuck you are doing when it comes to this manga shit. And I should never, ever doubt the pen ever again.
So what made you say this?
So shout out to me for just like not reading manga for maybe the past 5 to 6 months.
Wow. Okay.
So I had a
What do you
nice
remember
fight.
last before? What do you remember last before you started, where you picked up?
No, I mean, other than keeping up with JJK and MHA slightly, because the last thing where I had picked up for this episode, the last thing that
Right.
happened was Toga just got defeated. So they just defeated all the
Nice.
they defeat all the twices went away.
Absolutely.
So I literally binged from that moment until where we're at currently.
Sidebar, 2 weeks ago, I reread everything from Star and Stripe to where we're at currently because I was just like, I don't want to start watching the show again. So I guess I'll read.
Oh my God. And
it's a great read.
Everything that we just ragged on Gege about doing, Horikoshi has done the exact opposite. It has worked out so much better in the end.
He's really... My favorite thing about it is that it seems to be really staying very on brand to what My Hero Academia is, right? And ultimately what the goal is to kind of show people at the end of the day. And while they do have to defeat kind of the big villain, ultimately it's like what a hero actually is. What is a hero? This is the story of how I became the greatest hero that ever existed. That's in the first episode, probably the first chapter of this thing. It has remained true. But the journey to get there, oh boy, it was a fucking action-packed adventure.
It's like, it's very obvious now that we're coming to the end of this series.
Yes.
And to be honest, I think, do you think it even lasts till the end of this year?
Hell, nah. It's ending before.
Okay.
It might end before the official start of summer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we're wrapping
it
up.
It might end in the next 2 months, to be honest with you.
It really might. And it's crazy to think about. And like you said, the journey that you've been on. Yes. Now, Horikoshi, you're not perfect. All great players have bad games.
Sure.
But I'm just gonna talk about what I read.
Okay.
This is how you close. Like, this is how you close. This is how you see the end is near, and they're like, yo, I need to stick the fucking landing, and I need to, like, I need this final to be stamped in, like, hey, this is what the end looks like. And he's just doing it at a level where you're like, man, the tie-ins, even the new information and the new things that come in, they're not so abrupt. They're, they find their way to smoothly fit into the story. The level of redemption, like MHA is just its ability to just keep its identity throughout, and just saying, like, once again, this ending feels of like, this is what My Hero is all about. This is what we have been accumulating to this entire series. That, all of you coming at this end. It's just one of those things where you're like, you're in an experience. Like, this is what this is. This ending feels like an experience where you're like, yo, this is what everything has been building up to, everything we have been looking forward to since we started the series, and certain villains got introduced and certain quirks got introduced. You're just like, this is what it's all about. To see Bakugo's moment, and to see him take out All For One, learning All For One's backstory, and within the midst of that, All Might's story kind of coming to a close, and kind of that, like, full circle moment for him. Deku and Shigaraki going into going into his soul in that moment where even his grandma has to like kind of even come to terms with uh her shortcomings as a hero and what she had to sacrifice to be the hero that she was. And like,
Absolutely.
and although she was a great hero to many, she's legit part of the reason why the greatest villain ever exists now. Like, there's so much that just comes in and like so many things get answered, or there's so many things that we've been
But
waiting to come like head to head, and you're like, it's finally here, and how everything is happens. Like I said, it's an explosion, it's an experience. You're just like, oh my gosh, like
right.
and that's how it feels. And once again, like you said, it's uh this is MHA at like, this is what it's all about. This is it at its peak right now.
Yeah. No, it's a so I have a few high points through this last like year of MHA in the manga. And one of them is they gave a very redeeming moment to Bakugo. And to watch, like, the crazy part is this nigga All For One, he's so insane. He was ready to end All Might's life. He was taking too long to end it, quite frankly. You probably could have ended it sooner. Like All Might tried to
That's
explode
for sure.
himself, and it was like you
I
thought
mean,
he
he
was
was
just gonna
flying
blow
in
up.
the
Yeah.
air he was flying in the air, holding All Might by the leg, just like dragging
Yeah.
him along.
You thought you were gonna explode on my watch? Fuck out of here. And Bakugo shows up, and Bakugo's still awake. They revive Bakugo, which might be a little judging on your spectrum of like this might be hokey. Man went inside his heart and sewed his heart back together and improved his blood circulation and all of the other stuff. But then Bakugo goes up a level. And he's the one who stands face to face with All For One. He gets his little redemption story too. And he's the one who did what Deku couldn't do, what All Might probably could have done. So he's standing right there with Deku on this. He gets his redemption. I thought that was so awesome. I thought it was fantastic. Um, yeah, it was really, really enjoyable. The second part I really, really enjoyed came very, very recently. And it was when they're in the vestige world. Essentially, Deku has given up all his quirks to be able to enter the vestige world. And they're in the house. And they are seeing memories of the past, seeing memories of like, oh my god, we're in Shigaraki's memories, and we're in the memories, but they're like, oh my, this is one memory. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, and neither does Shigaraki. And it's showing that All For One was behind this the entire time. He told this man to have a kid. Like, I can't even imagine. I could suggest you having another kid, but I wouldn't like go out my way to say like, yo, you should have another kid. Like that's kind of crazy. But he suggests the father to have another kid, and essentially, step by step, plots out this entire field of like how this goes, even down to the mother kind of because he knows Nana Shimura, and he knows how to get to this point of like, okay, we're going to build here, we're going to get here, and we're going to essentially, I'm going to build the greatest supervillain of all time. And he's very methodical in his step. So he gives Shigaraki the decay quirk because Shigaraki was initially quirkless. So he is the reason why he killed his family. And for a long time, Shigaraki thought it was his own awakening and he was the reason why, and that no one helped him. But at the end of the day, it was always All For One. That man is a jerk. He is an asshole. I
Top
am
3 villain all time. You got to.
he got to be like even down to the last reveal. It was like wow.
Like, he was like, nah, bruh. Like, he
And then he just yeeted him out the fucking story. He was like, "You've never been able to do anything you're supposed to do on your own. Get the fuck out of here." And then he takes over his body. and now it's like this weird Shigaraki old husk of a person kind of existing currently with whatever remnants of All for One there is there. And Deku loses his hand. I mean, he gets it back pretty quickly, so that's kind of like nothing. But him losing his hand is just like, wow, what a panel. Um, but we're so in the end game of this. You can see kind of the ending very, very clearly. They've closed all the things. You know what I'm saying? They've
Mm-hmm.
included the characters that need to be included. They included the villains that need to be included. Everyone has a moment. This is what Horikoshi is completely underrated in, and I honestly I can't say any other anime mangaka has ever done this. He juggles so many characters and is managed to give them all significant moments. Even fucking Tailman and Sero and Tape Boy and Candy Dude. They get to pull
Fucking
up first.
Invisible Girl.
Yeah.
Like, she has a whole fucking reawakening.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yo, there's no one who does it like him with the ability to juggle as many characters as he has in this story. By mere fact of me knowing all these people's names. Because I'm in several animes and I don't know. Don't ask me who's everyone in Sakamoto days. I'm just have to wait till the anime comes out. But there's so many people that he's able to juggle and give these moments for, and that people are able to gravitate towards. He's doing like no one else has fucking done it, bro. This is some awesome shit. And I feel like, I mean, granted, everyone's sleeping on it. I know this doesn't surprise me because people just have their various bias against My Hero Academia. However,
Nah,
this is
it's once again, he stuck the landing so crazy. It's gonna be so like this final season gonna be so undeniable.
yeah.
This final season is gonna be so undeniable.
I mean, people talk about the animation. That's what they're gonna end up doing, but he stuck the landing so crazy. The Todoroki story stuck the landing. The fucking the Uraraka story stuck the landing. The Aizawa present Mike Kurogiri story stuck the landing. Bakugo's redemption stuck the landing. All Might on the brink of death. I mean, they just won't kill the nigga, but hey, here we are. Stuck the landing. And now we get this point. It's everyone, it's all hands on deck. Everyone who has been victimized by All for One. All for One has lived for hundreds and centuries of years and has victimized people's parents and grandparents and all types of generations of people and really taken advantage. And he is the key to why this society exists in the way that it presently exists. And now they're like, it's payback time now, nigga. Everyone came through the portal. It was like, yo, about to turn OFA into OJ. You know what I'm saying? We
What?
about to beat the juice out of this, man. Like it's I feel always like a shill when I talk about how this is supposed to be done. But for real, like he's bodying this like so hard with this ending. And I don't know how the ending I mean, you have an idea of how the ending will look. It seems like Deku's gonna be quirkless. He's quirkless now. Um but it seems like they won't need one for all anymore because they'll have vanquished All for One. Um I don't know how society's gonna be. I can live with like we beat All for One and we get they do what they did with Haikyuu where they have like it's like a post arc, like a
Yeah.
post thing arc, and you get like a couple maybe like 6 chapters about like how shit has like evolved since then and how everyone is acting and stuff and how Deku still has his hands and all this other shit like that. Fucking what's my man's name? Laser Boy. He did his time. You know what I'm saying? Because he still got to do his time. Don't think because you out here helping, you ain't gonna go back to jail.
I had my man Aoyama locked up. He
Oh
about to be
yeah,
a degenerate.
hey man, lock him up. Shit, man. People died. Lock him up. But no, this is insane. It's really, really good. I thoroughly, when I reread it, because I was essentially like, they went on break 3 they go on, they essentially write for 3 weeks and they go on break, and then they write for 3 weeks and then they go on break. I was like, I need something to hold me over, especially since they're showing all these things with the new season. I was like, let me read this shit. I had the best time reading everything from Star and Stripe to now. It's so good. I don't know what else to say.
Nah, man, listen, My Hero, I had to apologize. That's how good it was. I had to say I'm sorry. I'm not good at apologizing. Not even saying good at saying I was wrong, but I
Right.
was wrong. Like that, like how he is closing this amazing story up is once again just next level. It's just one of those endings that you're gonna remember.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those endings that are gonna feel right. It's like one of those endings you're just like you feel so satisfied of like completing this journey where you're like what more can you want? What more can you want than a strong ending? There's nothing better than an ending that doesn't leave you wanting a sequel.
Mm. Amen. I take a sequel, but yes, no, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Do you think we ever get the the All Might story movie?
I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we need a story of the first battle. The
Yeah,
first fight between him and All for One.
you absolutely do. Yo, Metro Boomin even you just tweeted about My Hero Academia. He said My Hero Academia is back in a week. You fuck with Metro still since
Listen,
the whole thing?
I don't I have no dog in this fight.
Yeah, me neither.
I got no dog in this fight. The music, we're getting good music and good entertainment from it, but like
Hey man, Metro, shut the fuck up and watch some anime, nigga. How about that? How about that? That's a good way to end this. Thank you guys for tuning in, of course. Thank you guys for supporting the Lookout. Thank you guys for just listening to us. We are preparing to set voyage the next time you hear us. Is it on the Grand Line? I forget what I don't what's One Piece terminology.
hey, we'll let AD handle all that when he gets here.
Yeah.
We're
So
packing we're packing our bags though.
we're gonna
We're
be
headed
setting
out.
sail through One Piece, Water 7. Is it the Water 7 arc?
Yeah.
Water 7 saga?
Water 7 Saga.
Water 7 saga. So I gotta start watching it. And then we're also gonna but if something crazy happens, we'll hop back on. But realistically, like Summer Kame House is gonna start sometime after Memorial Day. I'm not sure when it will actually start, but I actually have to watch all these episodes first so I can plot out a good course. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be a great time. And yeah, man. Any final words before we head out of here, LJ?
You know what? We talk a lot about anime, but it was nice to nice to pick the manga back up. So let's read some more for the
Yeah.
until we get back. Until we get back, I'll actually catch up on Water 7 Saga, One Piece. But let's get back to reading.
Let's get back to reading. Let's do that. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Lookout. Follow us at the Lookout. Make sure you also listen to Subslide Dubslide. We'll be gone, but the feed will still be jumping because Subslide Dubslide with J and D rolling through. They're going through tournament arcs. You might even hear us on that. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
You might not, you might not be
I've already
dead.
picked which episode for me. So
Okay, all right, do your thing. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.